Charlottesville, and we're here to talk about Laura and her options, involving the wind farm and solar initiatives. Her first option is to go at it alone and fulfill her father's dreams of opening the wind farm. You would use your land that you received from your father to open the farm to provide energy for your company. Or you could go with the second option and partner up with your friend in the solar energy industry. If you did this, you would either have to sell your land and move the 100 miles away, or you could open up another section of the solar company on your land and communicate back and forth. And we have researched each option and have found that the wind technology releases no pollution and produces enough power for 25 million homes yearly, and the solar energy takes around 0.3% of the world's land area to supply all of your electricity needs, and the Earth receives more energy from the sun in an hour than is used in the entire world in 1 year. Justin will talk about the pros of each investment.
First off, for the wind farm, because her interest is in green technology, the wind would be promising because it does provide no pollution. Also, she would get a fulfillment out of it because it is her father's wishes and his dreams, and she would be using his investments to complete that business. She would also be free from the stress of a partnership. She could do what she thought was best and not have to confer with her other friend who lives 100 miles away all the time. But for the solar technology, she would have the benefit of a partnership. On the other hand, he would have experience and know-how because he's already running his business. She would also wouldn't have to build up her business from scratch. She would be starting off on an already run business. And she could also use her land to increase the assets of that other business. And now Haley will talk about the cons of both investments.
Well, as you know, everything has a con. So with the wind, you're going it alone, which means you don't have the support of someone that's already been in the business, meaning you're going to have to research your own ways of making it. You also have no prior experience in this field. Though you have done research and you're very interested in the solar, you need to seek out how you're going to get your farm up and running. Also, you do listen to your friends and you seek out his advice, so you're wary of the fact that he thinks it's a risky investment. On the other hand, with the solar, you are going to have a partner to talk to, but sometimes partnerships don't work out and there's difference of opinions. So you may have trouble working with him. And he lives 100 miles away, which is a long way to commute, and it'll make communication difficult. And if you need to move to that where he's at to work more effectively, you may have to sell your land. And if you don't sell your land, you have to open solar in your area, which would make it difficult to have that communication. If you move, you're not helping locals as well, which is important. And if she does go with the solar, she's against her father's wishes, which is something that's important to her. Justin's going to talk about some alternatives.
One alternative would be to combine and actually invest in both. She could use the land she's inherited from her father and on part of it build a wind farm and maybe utilize solar panel technology on the same land because they use different resources. This would benefit her in both that she would have a partner to get advice from, and she would get the fulfillment out of it because she's following her father's wishes and his assets. And also it would definitely use the land to its full potential, harnessing both technologies. And now Haley is going to talk about her next step.
So what is your next step? If you decide to go with the wind, you're going to need to create a business plan and get your farm up and running. That includes seeking out help and finding the best way to get the windmills on your farm and how they're going to begin running. And you'll have to seek out advisors. If you decide to go with the solar, you need to research the friend's company and see where best your money can be used, or your land, and decide how you want to invest and how much partnership. There's a lot more paperwork sort of work to do with the solar. If you decide to go with both and start a wind farm and invest in a solar plant, you're going to have to do both steps and begin your wind farm while researching his company. So we've decided that the best option we think for Laura is to start her wind farm. We feel that for her it is very important to follow her father's wishes, and she's into the solar energy concept, so for her to start her own business would be very promising. It also, we would like her to keep the money. Instead of also investing in the solar, we feel that she should keep the money inherited so that she'll be able to fund her own business, so she does not have to take out loans and seek out financial help outside of her business. This gives her independence, which means she'll have complete control over her business, meaning that she will be able to do whatever she wishes with it, which maybe later means bringing in partnerships and branching out other ways. She could also later partner with her friend in the solar and have both the wind and solar aspects. We also want her to stay local because it would be good for her to be able to make an impact in her community by hiring local citizens and putting revenue back into her community. So we feel that the wind is the best option for her. Do you have any questions?
You stated that if I was going to go into the wind business, that I would need to write a business plan. I've never been in business before. Is there some place where I can get help to write a business plan?
Sure, there's many different resources. You can, if you prefer to have one-on-one contact, you can hire different consulting firms, and they'd be more than happy to help you write up a business plan. If you're more independent and you feel like you would rather do it all by yourself, you can go online. There's many options. Talking to people that you already know with businesses is a great way to figure out the easiest way to get the business plan started.
Even talking with your friend as a resource, you could get advice from him that way, even if you're not investing in his business.
Or even the friend with the solar panel company, he's been through it in the same type of industry, the green alternative, so he would kind of know the same way, and he is a friend, so he will be willing to help you along the way.
What would be the fastest way to get things up and going? Start your own company, or maybe join another company that's already existed? I mean, even with the wind, just another company that's already existed.
If your priority is getting your business starting fast, it might be an easier option to partnership with the solar energy because that's already up and running, and your assets would just further benefit that business and it'd be already going.